Yeah, we had a great discussion about vampires last show. All right, let me see. My mic is working. Santiago, speak into it.
Yes.
Oh, you're perfect.
Woo.
Anthony, speak into it.
Hello. Hello.
A little bit louder.
Hello.
Hello.
Project!
Hello. All right, yours is working. Lois, speaking to yours.
Namaste.
A little bit louder.
I said namaste.
Namaste what?
One more time.
Namaste.
Perfect, Dana.
What's up, Queens College?
All right, we're good. Now you two take an attempt at this.
Good evening, listeners.
This is me making an attempt.
And you did a great job.
Thank
All right.
you.
And welcome, everybody. This is the final October show and the big Halloween Spooktacular Savings. Spooktacular, oh, God. Working in retail, it makes so much sense.
It makes 0 sense. Did you just cheer retail?
We turn the
On
mic.
mischief night.
You make it, yeah, perfect. Wow, I'm loud. That's good. But, so, it is the night before Halloween. I am very excited. I'm already in my part of my Halloween attire. I am Frederick Krueger. Frederick Krueger. I always wondered what ethnicity that last name was.
Probably
German.
So
Probably
you're,
I'm guessing
sounds-
German.
so you're like an Austrian.
I felt like it'd be a little bit more Austrian than it would be German,
Yeah.
but who knows?
I don't know.
They're
somewhere-
technically
somewhere
they're kind of the same ethnicity, but who knows?
I could totally see,
Do they speak
Frank,
the same language?
get to the
They both speak
chopper.
Our English human centipede is like, open the door!
Oh God, never watching.
Open the door!
Maybe we should all just watch Human Centipede.
No,
terrible.
no,
Please,
we are
like,
not
how dare
watching
you.
Human
How dare
Centipede.
What is this sleep?
Sleep. What am I, a bitch?
All right, so for all tuning in, this is the show I've been advertising all day about being the Halloween show.
As close as
Um,
we can get.
Well, by the time we leave here, it'll probably be Halloween. It'll be probably exactly Halloween. So,
Really? It's gonna be that long?
well, we get kicked out around 10.
Oh.
So by the time I get home, it's usually Halloween.
Oh, okay.
It's usually Halloween when you
This
get
is
home.
Halloween. This
This
is
is Halloween,
Halloween,
Halloween, Halloween,
Halloween,
Halloween,
Halloween.
Dun, 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 dun. So I had a pretty.
This town we call home. Everyone hail to the pumpkin song.
So
Everybody scream.
Everybody scream.
I had a pretty eventful weekend, pretty Halloween. I went to 2 parties. Both had some crazy shenanigan happen, but it wouldn't be a party if some crazy shenanigan didn't happen. How was everybody else's weekend? What are y'all been doing?
Last weekend?
Go ahead.
Nothing for Halloween.
I watched the first Halloween movie with
Jamie Lee Curtis and
Yeah.
nice.
my best friend. It was
My
fun.
best friend.
Yeah.
What about y'all over there? Go ahead.
I studied. That's scary too.
That's pretty intense.
Bitch.
Fuck you.
When and where?
Whatever you want, baby.
Let's not continue this. Let's end this before it starts. I do not want this abomination on board.
Why didn't you say something sooner?
Any
You
Halloween
invited
plans?
me.
I'm going bar hopping. If anybody wants to join me in the local area, or if they have any places out by them, I will certainly stop by. I'm going to be very open. I want to see everybody. I want to have a good time.
My band Bending Over Backwards is playing out East and Shirley, so if you guys want to travel far to an awesome punk rock show, please, by all means,
What time
come on
is it?
down. The show starts at 5, but my band Bending Over Backwards goes on last at like midnight, so
Maybe
yeah.
I'll make it out there.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
Can I just say I love that name, Bending Over Backwards?
Thank you. That means a lot.
All right.
Add
But,
us on Facebook. We're selling EPs for $5.
Nice.
$5.
Oh, by the way, we last week we were 1 person shy, but I think, oh my God, he's back. He's back. Say this under the mic.
With a vengeance!
Yay!
Now,
Ooh.
something I wanted to bring up. I've seen this video a while ago, but I figure it'd be appropriate for Halloween, being that it's a terrible film, but nonetheless a film. with a monster that is nonetheless a monster or a mythical being, whatever you want to call it. But any of you know that leprechauns exist? Anybody aware of this?
No.
I got a question. Is this your
Oh,
terrible
no.
film choice of the week?
No, I didn't even
You're-
get to that. This is
This
my
is Leprechaun? Oh my god.
No, we're not. Are we watching Leprechaun?
No, we're not.
We're watching
Something
Leprechaun
else.
in the Hood.
Someone lower the lights a little bit. Perfect. Yeah. All right, ready? Let me show you all what I mean about a real live leprechaun. I'm so excited.
Yep.
There's a visual
You're
to
all
this radio
the mics
show.
are on while we play the video. I do ask no one call in as of right now, and as we watch the video, feel free to comment, but let the video roll out, and then we can talk about it afterwards. Ready?
Indeed.
First time working with how many people we got? We got 7 people on the show today. It's grown since me and Santiago started on our one show where he got all pompous about getting scotch from Scotland.
Again, I'm willing to let it drop. You're the one who seems to be obsessive.
It's funny. Okay, ready? Check
Face
it
is
out.
funny.
In time for St. Patrick's Day, crowds are coming by the dozens to get an up-close view at what some say is a piece of Irish folklore.
Some people in the Crichton area of Mobile say a leprechaun is taking up residence in their neighborhood. A leprechaun. NBC 15's Brian Johnson has more.
Curiosity leads to large crowds in Mobile's Crichton community. Many of you bringing binoculars, camcorders, even camera phones to take pictures.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else seen the leprechaun say yeah?
Eyewitnesses say the leprechaun only comes out at night. If you shine a light in its direction, it suddenly disappears. This amateur sketch is what many of you say the leprechaun looks like. Others find it hard to believe and have come up with their own theories and explanations for the image.
My theory is it's casting a shadow from the other limb.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff.
Exactly.
And told him to get up in a tree and play a leprechaun.
We're going to get down to the bottom of this. Yeah, it's still on there, guy. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, man.
This guy helping to direct traffic says he's prepared for his encounter with the leprechaun. He's suited up from head to toe.
This wars off spells right here. This is a special leprechaun flute, which has been passed down from thousands of years ago from my great-great-grandfather who was Irish. I just came to help out.
Others just came to get lucky in hopes a pot of gold may be buried under this tree.
I'm gonna run a backhoe and uproot that tree. I want to know where the gold at. I want the gold. Give me the gold. I want
Professor,
the gold.
seriously.
This is
what the hell
Brian
is
Johnson,
this?
NBC 15 News.
People will do anything for a pot of gold. I mean, anything.
You know what I like? I like the amateur sketch of the leprechaun. It
yeah.
looks like somebody got a
It's
really
in the
good
middle
look
of
at
the
it.
ghetto. What kind of gold is there?
That was fantastic.
Except at the pawn shop.
I love the best part, the amateur sketch. That was the best part.
It was quite professional, yes.
Oh, yeah.
That little amateur sketch.
Well, it was an amateur sketch.
That's true.
It's new age art.
Blame
You-
the
You can't
artist.
blame the artist.
Speak up, please. No problem. But yeah, no, I just figured I'd share that some crazy news stories about leprechauns. I saw this a while ago, but it never ceased to leave my mind because once in a while I realized that there was people who really went out looking for the leprechaun.
Was this an April Fool's joke?
No, it was a serious thing. People thought there was a leprechaun.
And
Why
that's
on-
what makes it fun.
God.
Why on Halloween of all times?
I don't think it was on Halloween, but I figure it's appropriate to bring up on Halloween.
Because this is Mischief Night, and people do stupid stuff on Halloween.
That is
It's true.
true.
Somebody
Absolutely.
actually egged my car a couple of months ago, and it wasn't even Mischief Night. So hopefully, when I get back to my car after the show, my car will be in good condition, not filled with eggshells and whipped cream and toilet
Oh,
paper and
my
other
God.
garbage that these people like to.
Two weeks
Well-
ago, some little
My house
fucking
got egged one
Well,
year.
you know what? Your car might be in good condition, but the wheels might be missing.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I just got new tires.
these fucking little brats threw eggs at my car too, like 2 weeks ago.
And then he ran them over. The end.
I wish I did. I didn't see them, but
And
I
then you
didn't-
cut off
That's how
all
Tom
of their
Palumbo became
limbs
Freddy
slowly.
Krueger.
He's all like, "Hey kids, you like to egg cars? Well, here's one for you." He just ran them over.
I'm just gonna start showing up in their dreams. I'm gonna be like, You're all my children now.
I actually watched that movie a couple weeks ago too.
I love that
Nightmare on
movie.
Elm Street.
Such a good movie. Such a classic piece of master.
Why are you suddenly Italian?
Yeah, Count Chocula. What's up with that?
Count Chocula.
Okay.
Speaking of.
Okay, was that Transylvanian or Italian? I can't tell.
The children of the night, they speak.
That was more Italian, if anything, being an Italian Dracula.
Bela Lugosi, I guess?
No, I think he's actually, he's somewhere Eastern European. I'm not sure. I don't know. I gotta look that up now. Now I'm really curious, because we've had Bela Lugosi, who I believe is Eastern European, play Dracula. Then we had Christopher Lee play Dracula, and he's English, if I'm correct, or at least British, somewhere on that spectrum of people. And then we had Gary Oldman, who played Dracula, and I don't know what he is. I'm just going to say he's American.
He's English.
He's English?
Yep.
Okay, so it doesn't really leave the
He
realm.
played Sirius Black in the Harry Potter movies.
He played Commissioner Gordon in the Batman.
Guys, we're leaving out the scariest vampire of them
really
all.
is good at it.
Edward.
He's English too.
So is Hugh Laurie.
Like he won't die no matter how much sunlight or like religion hits him.
Sparkle's like a bitch.
Exactly.
Did you just say sunlight or religion?
Yes, or religion.
Or I can yes.
Like why can't we like religion him to death or something?
I said we call Sarah Michelle Gellar and just end it all.
Yay!
No, like you guys know when that episode of the Boondocks when Tom gets possessed.
Oh.
Read.
Oh, that is my favorite episode.
I'm not even going to say what he says. That was an awesome episode. Transitioning into one of the topics for tonight, I have this to play. Hang on.
Oh no. What's this?
I don't even know what the fuck this is. Just fuck. I hate when people fucking
What? You just hate people.
sometimes.
Well,
Wait,
he
here.
is Freddy Krueger.
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Oh no, it's the haunted ghetto.
Uh-oh.
Is this the intro to Hey Arnold? Like,
Hey, it's the Fat Albert Halloween special.
Steal all our candy.
No, Albert, no, go away.
The Fat Albert Halloween special.
Hey, I'm gonna eat all your candy.
That's the music I play when I walk into the club.
Yeah.
when you walk all up in the club with your Freddy Krueger sweater.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna walk all
Freddy
up in the
Krueger
club.
runs this hood with an iron
fedora.
fist. He's like,
And no fedora.
this is my hood now. And then
So, one of the most awesome, like growing up, one of my favorite things about Halloween was all these different cartoon specials that would be on. And I didn't actually see that one growing up, but I just think that has one of the funniest fucking intros. I mean, it's the greatest way to transition to this topic. Hey, it's the Fat Albert Halloween special! Like, I mean, how great is that?
what is he supposed to be going as? Like, what is he, the Grimace from McDonald's?
I don't know.
That's scary.
What is he? Hang on. Let's analyze the intro critically, since you and I are both history majors. We have to analyze this like a historian.
God help me.
What was Bill Cosby thinking? Hang on.
What is Bill Cosby ever thinking?
Different costumes today.
Yeah, Root and Rummage, they got a lot of cool Halloween costumes for tonight.
I'm gonna give me a superhero costume.
I'm gonna be a monster. What do you mean gonna be?
I'm gonna be that guy that steals your candy.
Hey,
Straight I
Mr.
am.
Root, me and Deborah here want some service.
I don't.
It's a haunted
You
convenience
look
store
so
owner.
angry.
So I
running a
don't have any
convenience
idea
store.
what Fat Albert was for Halloween.
As historians, we must persevere.
We must continue on. Hold on.
We got a whole $1.87 to spend clear. Yeah. He talks to nobody.
The fuck is that guy so mad for?
Man, we gonna have it.
Who shat in his food?
Louis, you've seen Clerks. Convenience store owners are never happy.
We're not. It's true.
Retail personnel coming from experience of 1, 2, 3. Are you
This-
retail?
Oh, yeah.
Retail as well? We're never happy.
We
at
are
my
well,
job.
well, I will actually insult people as they come in, and they just don't even care because they don't listen to you when you talk. So
I hit on old
Oh
women.
my God, you're a female Randall Graves.
I kind of am.
I hit on the old women.
I
It
say-
usually makes their day, or sometimes it gives me negative looks, but it's funny in the end.
I say hi to every customer, but they just walk by me as I don't exist. And even when I say hi, how are you? Do you have your CVS card with you today? They just stare at me and just throw it on the table. And I'm like, okay, it was nice talking to you too, buddy. Have a nice day.
So Lewis, I think we found his costume. If you want to.
What is he supposed to be? The Hamburglar?
We did.
What the heck is that? What is he, super obesity? Is that his power to like eat all your food and your fat?
I think he is a superhero.
Dana, in regards to the thing they're not answering, drop kick them.
You do?
Drop kick the fuckers. They'll pay attention to
him. For throwing the bull.
That's frightening.
The giant forehead.
I never want to go to the ghetto now.
So we've got one dressed as a Native American with a made duster on his head. And then we have a cowboy actually wearing a cowboy hat, and then we have Fat Albert with red glasses.
He's supposed to be a superhero.
A fat superhero.
His name is Lard Ass Man. His power is to eat all your food.
True.
Lard Man.
So.
And I think one's cross-dressing.
Yeah, there was a cross-dresser there.
There was definitely a cross-dresser.
If you go into the article, you have like a cross-dresser just randomly accost you if you
So
want
has
there.
anyone seen this Halloween special?
No.
All right, so I will, going back to actually our generation or our childhood, I'm going to say who has seen the Hey Arnold Halloween special?
Is that the one where they're dressed as fruits and like lost?
No, that's
a different one.
It's
That's the pilot episode, I think.
I think that was the pilot episode. No,
arguably, yeah.
That they were dressed as fruits and they were supposed to head down.
And the drug dealers gave
and they
them
head
money.
downtown by accident. No, the Halloween special was it was a kind of a spoof on War of the Worlds. You know that radio broadcast.
Yeah, the alien. When
So
Big
what
Bob
they-
nearly choked his daughter to death.
Yeah, so what happened was in the Hey Arnold episode, they broadcasted, just like in the actual event, the War of the Worlds. And Hey Arnold and his friends thought it'd be funny to all dress like aliens. So after all these people hear this news report, because the problem is at the beginning they tell you it's a radio broadcast, it's a story. But if you jump in like in the middle of it, you don't know that it's a story. You think it's actually happening. So they hear like aliens are taking over wherever, the Bronx, Chicago, Queens, whatever city they decided to base Hey Arnold off. And then
Probably Chicago, honestly.
It looks like it's got. I think they.
It looks a bit like the Bronx.
There's like different.
Well,
there's
a bridge in the movie.
Yeah, like it looks like there's like the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, but then there's like the Empire State Building in some scenes too. So it's like in different various urban neighborhoods.
it could be a mix of both cities.
Yeah, but you got to give them props. I mean, not only do they get like really good costumes, but they go as far as to light up the water tower like a fine saucer.
They were so good, their parents almost murdered them.
It's
true. I got a question. Weren't there two? Because I think I remember there being like a lot of like scary, creepy episodes. I think that might have been Halloween specials.
There may have been one that involved a haunted train.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking.
Ooh, that one was my favorite as a kid.
I love
that. Creeped me out as a kid. It's at the end, you think like it ends like, oh, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah, it's
but
a
then like the train gets all possessed and like the conductor sitting in the front singing that weird ass like hobo
Musical
song.
number. Haunted hobo.
Another thing, what did happen to Curly and that bride? That dead bride that came.
Oh my god.
And some other guy.
Oh yeah, when they
One
go into
that-
that cave, I think.
Yeah, they found like counterfeit pennies because obviously these guys are the dumbest counterfeiters in the world.
Oh yeah, because there wasn't. I think there was also like 3 Halloween. There was the haunted train, the aliens one. And I think there was something about like the headless.
Oh yeah, the headless cabbie. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Like they really went all out with their Halloween.
Why don't I remember any of these?
I think Hey Arnold is on Netflix, so if you go on to Netflix, you could.
No, you're
from there.
Yeah, I did that. They when I was living in Albany, before I go to bed, I would always play an episode of Hey Arnold. Why is my thing? Hang on, I want to play a part.
Wait, little Netflix rant. They took King of the Hill off of it.
I know.
I'm gonna kick your ass. I'll tell you what.
Calm down.
Don't toss the chair, Lewis.
Yo, I think we might have blown out the mics. We might have.
Okay, no. The rage we are feeling, it's worth it.
They
You
turned
don't
off the
understand.
goddamn show. It's the only show I liked, I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
Where am I supposed to get my propane and my propane?
The propane accessories.
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what. Oh my god.
All right, hold on. But going back to Harold, this is one of my favorite episodes.
Killed the mic. High five.
We didn't.
No, you didn't. It still works.
No, it still works. We're good. We're good. Actually, I lowered them a little bit. Now I'm gonna put them back up.
Translate all that rant into Chinese, and that's how people felt when they canceled Firefly.
All right, now I gotta lower it again.
Way to go, guys.
Philosopher, you fiend.
I do
Our
ask though.
rage can't be
All right, from now
contained.
on, if we're going to scream,
Serenity.
the radio will pick you up. So don't scream into the mic. Scream in general.
You know what this reminds me
Serenity
of?
is
Guys, you know
makes me
Pee Wee's
more
Playhouse?
Yes.
We have
Yes.
to think of a secret word. That'll be a fun
Washed
idea.
eyes. There's nothing more.
The secret word is the. Every time you hear the, scream real loud.
Please don't scream real loud.
Don't listen to him.
Can we just internally scream?
Yes.
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
hold on. I wanna play this for y'all. This was
Hey, zombie!
This was from a Hey Arnold episode.
I wish they didn't catch me shining it up.
Oh, I miss Stinky.
I wish I could see from here.
Oh, hang on, I'll move. Ready?
And why is his nose coming out of his hat?
Ready?
That's what
Ready?
I'm wondering.
I love Sid.
Everyone
looks like
That
they
is a
hatched
good question.
together.
That was never answered.
That's never answered.
Ready?
I want to suck your blood.
Ah, Stinky.
He's also his cousin, as well as his...
Get away! No!
Still a better love story than Twilight.
Wait a minute. Well, it was just a dream. There's no vampire.
Sid and Stinky aren't related.
No, they weren't.
It's a joke because Stinky's a hillbilly, kind of-ish, and...
He is.
On account of having a funny accent.
But what does that have to do with Sid?
I don't know, Iris. I don't know.
But that one I love. They had a bunch.
Pretty much Sid saw the vampire movie and became all like superstitious and scary, and then when Stinky starts acting like the vampire, he gets all like creeped out by him. So he has
I
bad
want to
dreams.
suck your blood. So let's pass it around. That was one I wanted to bring up. Anybody else talk about their Halloween specials that was good to them growing up? Unless I killed all of it because Hey Arnold has like 15 Halloween episodes. They only have like one Halloween episode, but they have like a bunch of creepy episodes or like Halloween themed episodes.
Anything with Courage the Cowardly
Oh,
Dog
I was
is
just about to
is
say.
Halloween themed.
Oh my god! No, especially.
That is one of the shows that never should have gone.
My curse.
Matter of fact, look what I got up on the screen.
You did not.
King Ramses!
That show was horrible. That show. Oh god. Or the episode where like, oh god, with the weird
foot?
barber. No. Oh god, the foot.
It's a gerbil's world.
That was a
It's
very
Gerbil's world.
even as a
There's a
kid.
10-hour version of that on YouTube.
Even as a kid, grasping the concept of what that episode was really portraying creeped me out. Especially at the end when they escape and there's that epic like music, like oh, they're escaping
no
on like the water
silence.
skis, and like
I mean, there is silence.
that must have taken a lot of like cinematic knowledge to really recreate this like dramatic episode for like a show about a dog, a cowardly dog.
How was that a children's
Named
show?
Courage.
Named Courage, about a purple dog, and there was like ducks and like aliens, and they sounded like Ringo Starr.
There
Like,
wasn't a
what's-
pilot.
And the random Asian guy who kept going, watch where you're going, you fool!
I remember when the show actually started. If I'm correct, it was one of those cartoons they did. They used to do this back then. If anyone remembers, they would premiere a pilot of a show, but they would do it in like a big marathon of a bunch of different shows, and you got to vote for which one would take off.
That's how Billy and Mandy came in.
That's how Billy and
Yeah,
Mandy
the
came in.
Grim Adventures of Billy and
'Cause that-
Mandy.
but one of the
Also a great
first
Halloween show.
one of the first that came about was Courage the Cowardly Dog, and that pilot was actually the one where the chicken comes down, the alien chicken comes down,
Yes.
and then he fries them. Then like I don't think it just got I think it was so good. They didn't even leave it to the kids to vote because kids don't know shit.
Exactly.
They just picked it up. They just picked it up and made it a show, and it's like one of their longest running shows. I mean, it's not on anymore, but
It's in syndication though. It's on syndication on Boomerang.
Okay.
A little sport before you die.
Boomerang?
I do.
And
I knew I liked you.
and the first season. And the first season's on Netflix.
I didn't know that they removed King of the Hill.
okay?
I'm sad now.
You know what it is?
Don't-
Unfortunately, it is a lot of.
Yeah, trick or treat. Trick or treat. Because they actually had a Hell House in the episode of King of the Hill.
Like a religious hell house?
Yes. And then Hank's
no.
like, fuck that noise. Let's get candy.
Oh, wait, hang on a second.
Dressed up as the devil.
Wait,
Yes.
the best Halloween episode belongs to Invader Zim. Oh my god.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
Halloweenies!
I remember that. Gennaro, I want to hear your input. What was your favorite Halloween special growing up? What's that?
I really didn't watch it.
Yes, you did.
You clearly did.
I mean, I might have. I just.
Speak louder into the mic.
He's just too crushed because of the King of the Hill situation.
I understand, man.
Yeah, we've all been there.
You watched the same things I did growing up, or
I really didn't watch, like, the cartoon.
did you watch Hocus Pocus, though?
Yes,
I haven't seen it.
You have not seen Hocus Pocus?
No, it's one of my many secrets, along with
Don't watch it.
the
It's sad.
secret that I'm secretly a man. But
Also an otaku.
oh, we don't talk about that.
It's out now.
I'm too busy rewatching Sailor Moon for the 20th time to talk about that.
Fighting evil by moonlight.
There's nothing wrong with that show.
Yeah, except the fact that.
Except for the dub. We don't talk about the dub.
Yeah, what
No,
about
we don't talk about
Tuxedo Mask being like 20 years older than Bunny?
Oh, that's true. No, he was a college student and they were in high
He a
school.
pedophile.
He's kind of a pedophile, but it's Japan. It's normal.
Statutory rape, anyone?
Well, in America.
Eric, Santiago, I received a important notice from Eric. He says, "Shut the fuck up."
In response to what?
You should speak into the mic if you want to.
In response to what?
Oh, he just told you to shut up.
It might be
He's always
about
telling me to
Sailor
shut
Moon.
So shut up.
I will not be silenced.
He's
I
gonna
think
call
he
it and
just
tell you to
were-
shut up.
Go, philosopher, go.
I dare him. To quote one of my favorite movies, I double dare you, motherfucker.
What movie is that?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, you did not just.
No, because I've
Oh,
been
my
hearing that.
son.
In the corner, punch
English
master.
motherfucker, do you speak it? Yeah.
To be,
English motherfucker.
to be fair, he lives under a rock.
No, I
Do you
live
live-
under
do-
a rock. I
do-
just don't know that.
No, do you live in a pineapple? under
Hold
the
on.
sea?
We've got a
No.
phone call.
Oh no.
Ooh, the host cut off.
But you didn't have to cut me off. Make it like it
Hello.
we were nothing.
Yo, what's up?
Tell Santiago to shut up.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't Sailor Moon.
Santiago, shut up.
Have you met me? That's never going to get me to shut up.
You should just question it.
I question everything.
Great, you inspired him more.
So, Eric, now that I got you on the line, how chaotic is the show? We've got a lot of people on it this time.
I can't hear you. What's up?
How chaotic is the show this time?
Pretty chaotic.
It is. So, to give it a little bit more order, why don't you, I probably might have brought up some of the ones you have watched. What was your favorite Halloween cartoon special, or any special growing up as a kid?
The Rugrats.
Yes.
They have their own little haunted house, that's right.
Yeah, I love that one.
I think that was another one of those shows that had multiple Halloween specials.
And they also had a lot of creepy episodes as well.
That too.
What about
Also,
What's up?
the Buffy the Vampire Slayer Halloween specials are pretty awesome.
I would imagine so. Anybody else Buffy fans here?
I am a fake Buffy fan. I just tell everyone that I am, even though I haven't watched it. Same thing with Doctor Who.
You've never watched
So you're
it?
a fake fan of Doctor Who and, like, Buffy?
Only because I feel like I should be, but I don't have the patience because I'm too busy watching King of the Hill for the 20th time.
Blasphemy.
High five. To hell if you're blasphemy. King of the Hill is so much better.
It is the best.
No,
it
no,
is
no,
the
no.
single
King of the Hill
best
is
show.
not better than Buffy,
I'll take
Angel,
my
or Doctor Who.
Maybe Buffy, maybe not Buffy. But I'll take a suburban hillbilly over some silly wavy British man of a dildo any day.
Where did he get the dildo from?
He's kind of it's
Sonic screwdriver.
Oh God. Okay.
Well, if I didn't get stoned, you will.
What? I don't
Did
have any
someone
pot on
just say
it.
that King of the Hill was better than Doctor Who?
King of the Hill might be better than Doctor Who.
I don't watch Doctor Who, so I wouldn't know.
I've seen maybe 2 Doctor Who
And if you
episodes,
complain
but
against us, go back to Tumblr.
How many episodes have you seen on?
So Eric,
Buffy?
what do you take on King of the Hill versus Doctor Who?
Go back to
Tumblr. Wait, hold on. Shh. We can't explode the mics. Eric.
How do you compare the two? They're not even in the same class.
That is true. They're very different.
One's stupid and the other one's Doctor Who.
No, you're wrong. One is boring, and the other's King of the Hill.
King of the Hill just isn't funny.
You know.
Because you lack a sense of humor. Go home. Go back to Tumblr.
No.
Go back to Tumblr.
I should strangle.
That sounds like fighting work.
Wait, who are you, Santiago? You're talking to Lois?
Yes.
How did we go from a Halloween special to a nerd debate? I mean, I guess it kind of comes with the territory.
Well, when you put a bunch of nerds into a room, eventually one of them is going to disagree, and then you just start this horrible debate where it eventually turns out like Battle Royale, where like there's only one survivor clutching like I don't know what. A
Yeah.
pen.
Oh, by the way, anyone remember the girl who just showed up for the show last week?
Yes.
Yeah?
She has her own show now.
She does.
Really?
It's like it starts at 6. Yeah, you remember her, Daniela.
Oh yes, I do remember her.
I don't. I wasn't here for that one, right?
Well, you know what?
All
It
right,
was my mother's birthday.
Eric.
okay.
Halloween is tomorrow.
Yes.
Will I be seeing you? Maybe. Let me know. You gotta let me know.
Alright, well, will Santiago be there?
Santiago,
Yes.
you want to come out to Mineola for Halloween?
All right.
All right. Yeah, he will.
I'm busy.
You're also a jerk.
Yeah, this is my best
they're
friend.
best
I did
friends.
not see that coming.
Never mind.
No, I'm sort of being sarcastic.
So, anyway, I will see you Friday, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Friday it is. I'm going to keep that down.
Alright. If anything else, I'll call him later.
All right, no problem. Call in. We're going to keep going the show. See how this crazy, whacked-out train takes us.
Alright.
All right.
Crazy train.
Good night.
Like in the Hey Arnold.
I'm actually jumping off of this crazy train because I got a paper. But
When's the paper due?
oh god, it's due in like 2 weeks. But I
So
haven't
you're
even
leaving
started.
now to...
I'm leaving now to do something preemptively because I'm a dork.
How long's the paper?
Why are you asking me these? I don't know.
Because
You to stay.
Because you're
we're
our
having
first
fun,
interview.
and
I'm
pretty...
I know. I'm kidding.
I'm pretty good at writing papers very last minute. I'm not saying you should write papers last minute, but
Remember when we got that book and then we had like 10 minutes left?
we had 10 minutes and we finished that shit. Yeah.
There's one thing we're great at, it's bullshitting.
Bullshitting.
I think the world is basically built out of bullshitting.
Isn't your paper only like 5 pages long?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
We'll
I
see your
won't
way
stop
through it.
you if you really want to. I won't stop you,
Don't tempt me.
but I will try because we're having a good time. And it's also going to be very inconvenient for everybody if you get up and step all over.
Oh yeah, that's true. Wait, listeners, let me explain something. I'm like at the far end of the room, and I'm gonna have to climb over several. Actually, I can move. No, I'll just climb over the back of this couch and kind of break my leg on the way there.
You're gonna be a hero?
I'm gonna be a hero, guys.
Are you going to the library?
Nothing.
Okay.
That thing.
All right.
It's okay. You got that. Carry on without me.
All right. Well, maybe you'll stop by another time.
I don't know, will I?
Yeah, definitely come.
Okay.
Or listen in.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun. All right. Well, good luck on your paper.
I'm going to die before that happens.
You have 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2
Go work. You'll be fine.
Enjoy your Halloween, everybody. I'm gonna be ringing up people at my horrible job. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
YOLO. I don't know how that.
All right, everyone. Good night.
Night.
Still here.
But
Everyone's like silent. Wait, how am I gonna do this?
we're
All
all
right,
kind
let's
of
watch.
sad.
All right, you got it. You got it. All right, don't die.
She does got.
Nice. Just don't trip over the wire. All right, let's evenly distribute these mics now that we have. Good night. All right, let's figure this out. You have your own mic. We've got this and this mic, or
Come on, Anthony, you gotta talk, man. I'm like hogging this mic here. I'm not meaning to.
yeah, he is hogging the mic. However, I will say that one is louder. If you want to start sharing with that one and that one are much more preferable than this one. So this one should be left alone for Santiago to say Santiago things.
For example, forget YOLO. I like Hakuna Matata.
Indeed.
Oh, do you want to share this one? Sure.
Okay, I guess I'll move over. I guess you're trying like, oh, wait,
All right, so I'm trying to think. We were talking about favorite Halloween specials growing up.
Well, I got one I haven't seen. Well, at least I particularly like the. If anyone remembers Cat Dog.
Yes.
Cat
The
Dog.
one where dog gets turned into a vampire. And
Yes,
I
that
love
was actually pretty awesome. That one.
Yeah. But I've noticed something. Maybe I guess it's because we're remembering them all. But if I remember, all these Halloween specials were spread out over the course of a decade. I mean, like, they
Oh
sort of
my
seem to-
goodness, that was loud.
That was weird. They sort of seem to die. Like at least when we were kids, from 1990 to 2000, it seems like the specials, quote unquote, seem to be dying.
I will say that there isn't as many specials as there were. Why is my mic so? Oh no, it's showing up. I'm not showing up over there very. No, now I am. Okay, I'm showing up. Yeah, I sort of agree with you. Although regular show is keeping the trend of Halloween specials going. They have 3 Halloween specials so far. I love regular show. Anyone have any input? Regular show?
It's awesome.
Well,
Never seen it.
I've seen regular show. I haven't seen their Halloween specials, but I have seen the cartoon version of Sleepy Hollow. That's Little Story.
You mean the Disney cartoon?
I think it was. It always weirded me out because it would always end right as the pumpkin was landing.
Yes, that was the Disney one because I was obsessed with that as a kid. I loved that one. The Sleepy Hollow, which is like, if you drive, it's like maybe an hour north of here.
It's a really tiny town.
Yeah, it is.
Refresh my memory. That was based supposedly on a true story back in the day.
Not really. It was
no.
actually written by an Englishman in England about New York.
Washington Irving. Yep, Washington Irving.
Mm-hmm.
He was afraid.
What was the story? I mean, what was the setting? Where did it take place? It took place.
It took place at Sleepy Hollow, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yep. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty when it comes to this stuff.
I understand.
I forgot the setting. I know generally what happens. You think about Crane and the Headless Horseman, but
Yep.
I forgot the actual name of where they were actually. I just know it's Colonial League.
It's Vincent Price.
Oh my God!
Was that the end of Thriller?
This is Thriller.
Vincent Price, everybody, here to laugh at Santiago tonight.
He had the greatest voice.
I think Christopher Lee was just as creepy.
Oh, well.
Christopher Lee, everybody.
No one beats Morgan Freeman.
For creepy?
Or James Earl Jones.
I'm Morgan Freeman. I'm also God. Yeah, my impression sucked. I know. Stop laughing at me, Vincent Price.
Are you telling me that James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader and Mufasa, does not have a creepy voice?
No, he just has a powerful sounding one, I think.
It really depends on what role he has. For Mufasa, I really liked his voice because he actually, he actually played the character. In Darth Vader, he turned off all the warmth. Well, he had no warmth.
He had warmth.
He was just a cold-hearted.
It's called stabbing someone with a blade of light, which is pretty warm.
I'm talking about character. You know what? I mean, that's my input on it.
All right, sorry, I'm losing a little bit of track here. What am I doing? Hold on. Back to the computer!
The show from the early 2000s that ran on Cartoon Network. It was noted for its dark tone, imagery, and theme.
What the fuck? I type in Courage the Cowardly Dog.
They took off all the episodes. on YouTube. They took it all off.
Yeah, you have to go onto one of those other sites on Google.
Should we share a creepypasta?
Yeah.
I actually think that's a good idea. I originally wanted to do that.
I like the Legend of Zelda creepypasta.
Oh,
Ben Drowned.
The
Ben
Drowned
Drowned
thing.
That is creepy because if you actually go to like Googlebot and you type in "Where's Ben," it will like give you a weird answer.
Wait, okay, I'm lost. Creepypasta?
Creepypasta is the referencing to like an internet story. It's a horror story made on the internet. They range from terrible to fantastic. But terrible.
Like copy paste, and I think it turned into creepy pasta because people used to call it copy pasta.
Oh, okay.
Creepy pasta.
So, you know one. We all know the most famous creepy pasta is Slender Man.
Yeah.
Who's making his way to the big screen? There's I don't know who's making it, but there's somebody making a movie. I think it's called The Operator or something like that. I hope it does well.
Is it going to involve the people from Marble Hornets? Because I have heard rumors that they were working on a film.
Who knows? I don't know. That was actually really creepy for a while. I liked watching a lot of the Marble Hornet stuff. This is all you could check it up online. It's on YouTube. Marble Hornets is a story about these kids. He was making a film project for a school. And the film project just got worse and worse and worse until one day the director just left. So his friend makes a documentary trying to look for him. He's like, I'm going to review all the tapes and put it online so people can track and help me find them. And as he's watching the tapes from the films, he eventually begins to see odd phenomenon. Like the tape gets all fuzzy and the weird sounds, and Slender Man actually starts to appear. It was kind of cool. It was cheesy, but it was cool.
It's an anorexic businessman who's like he's pretty much what you get when you cross an anorexic businessman of a hentai monster.
Well, to me,
there really is no proof that he uses his tentacles in that way, Lewis. Mostly he just
That's not what Rule 34 says.
Nah. Anyway.
Oh no.
Mostly he just kidnaps children, or he stalks people for years, and then he makes them disappear or makes them go crazy, whichever.
Yeah.
Good luck with that, Slendy. I'm already there.
The way Slender Man works for me is very similar to the way Michael Myers is scary. He's a stalkerish figure, builds suspense, and can be at anywhere at any time. The faces are also very similar. I mean, Michael Myers has like a mask, but that mask is pale white with like darkness in the eyes. So it's along the same lines to me as this pale, emotionless face. I should be playing the Halloween theme right now because I literally just quoted Donald Pleasant. I just quoted Donald Pleasant from that film. What was it? Hang on. I got this.
You know who else is scary? Uninvited house guest.
Uninvited. Wait, uninvited house guest.
Well, his face is pretty damn creepy.
Can you inform me on the uninvited house guest?
Well, he's always.
Do you want me to look up the creepypasta?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
All right, hold on.
And then I'll demonstrate my lack of literacy.
Well, I will look it up, and then you can read it, and I'll play some creepy music behind it.
Okay.
Creepypasta time, everybody!
Or
Creepypasta!
if you want to get just silly with it, just look up the rap battle between the two.
Oh yeah. We should.
What about if anybody wants, use your smartphones, look up a creepypasta, and we'll talk about it. Viewers at home, do the same fucking thing. Look up a story and read it. God damn it, it's Halloween.
Otherwise, Freddy Krueger will kill us.
Yeah, fuck you guys. Freddy Krueger has his own fucking radio show now.
You like Nintendo? You like to play shitty games?
I'm gonna play that at random times, so. Fuck off, Santiago.
The love in this
No,
room
wait,
just
Uninvited
makes
Guest.
me
Is that a really bad movie with a giant black man on the cover of it?
No!
Because you see what I mean? Uninvited Guest.
No!
There's like a dead white woman on the floor and an angry black man in the background.
Oh my god, I've had enough of racial lunacy.
I'm not doing this on purpose. It shows up on IBM when I typed in. Is it called The Uninvited Guest?
Uninvited house guest.
Oh, I put uninvited guest. That's why.
Speaking of racist stuff, did you hear about that asshole who dressed up as Trayvon Martin for Halloween?
Yes.
I was like, that's not even scary or funny or anything. That's just fucked up. That was someone's kid.
Oh yeah, I think I saw like a picture of that, and like the girl's in between his Robin Hood.
I hope she gets blasted.
Well, her name is all over the internet now, so hopefully she won't get hired anywhere.
Or Anonymous will get to her.
That too.
Or Slender Man.
All right, here we go. You can read the story. Coming to you from knowyourmeme.com. And I'm about to play some...
I can't read. All right. Let's see.
All right, ready. Hey, wait for the music. Wait for the music.
I was about to say, do you want me to, hire the Hooked on Phonics people?
Yes. Bring them.
All right, go ahead. Read the
it's
story.
Really not. It just doesn't say anything. It says origin. About horrifying house guests. There's an image macro featuring a pencil sketch of a creepy ghost-like figure with large sunken eyes and a malicious smile. The overlaid text generally contains micro-narratives referring to creepy and disturbing situations and mental images. Common motif used throughout these captions are stories or imagery that would keep one awake at night, such as the fear of having to use the bathroom in the dark, having your feet exposed from the blanket, or hearing creaking noises outside your bedroom door. What else is it?
Yeah, I probably
like he's
should've-
like, legs hanging on the edge of your bed. It's mine now.
Shit. I should have actually looked up like a story, not the origin. I apologize.
Yeah.
Well, there's other ones, like you were saying, like you said, example, the whole feet thing. There's one is like feeling that breath on the back of your neck. That's just a whisper.
Yeah. It's just, Fap, when you think you're alone, suddenly feel my breath on your neck. Actually, that's fucking creepy. I feel horrible for reading that.
I know.
Okay. Mom says lights off. I say game on. You read it.
Alright, let me see. It's late, you should go to bed. That's if you get there. Thirsty at night? Meet you in the kitchen. Okay, this one, I think, this photo right here, I'm not sure. People, I know you can't see it, but this one looks really creepy.
He looks kind of like Kuchisake Onna.
I have an idea.
Thank you for that.
I'm gonna play it.
Do the face, Adam.
Are you sure you're not talking about Jeff the Killer?
Yeah, I think we're doing Jeff the Killer right now.
Is
That was pretty Jeff the Killer right there.
He's kind. I guess he's like Jeff the Killer's cousin or something. I don't
They're
know.
all related in some fucked up way.
You know, creepy motherfuckers who just appear in your house whenever.
They were probably created around the same time.
Why aren't there creepypastas about Santa Claus? I mean, the way I think about it, it's
There's pretty bad movies about Santa Claus as well.
he's like some jolly fat prowler that breaks into your home and like somehow like he eats your cookies instead of you.
Like, have you ever seen the movie Santa's Sleigh? Santa comes and kills everyone.
Dana, why? Now Iris has ammo.
What do you mean? I've seen the movie before.
No, I haven't.
Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
And I showed you Jack Frost. You
No,
kind
God,
of
no, I blotted that out. No.
That was a beautiful movie.
No,
I don't
that
know
movie
what
was
you're talking
horrible, and
about.
I'd rather pass kidney stones.
But it's...
Hold on, can anyone see this little screen right here?
Flashing lights, scary and creepy content, disturbing and
I
violent.
figure I would play a little bit of this, because this has some of the best creepypasta. And we can talk about it as it goes. All right, ready?
Indeed.
Flashing lights, scary and creepy content.
Oh no,
disturbing
robot.
violent and graphic images, jump scares, pop-ups and sudden loud noises. Viewer discretion advised.
Wait.
Ooh, yeah, you're real scary. Would you look at you? I mean, look at you!
Oh man, his face.
You
Who
have
dat?
got to be kidding.
That's Scout from Team Fortress
No, I know
2.
that's Scout. Who's the chick?
I have no idea. She kind of looks like she's from Borderlands too.
Yeah, I think she's the Necromancer.
What the hell's going on?
I'm gonna explode, aren't I?
Come on!
This
Work,
isn't what
damn
I
it.
wanted at all.
Okay, this does not look good here.
Iris, what about that one about the bus, that haunted bus in Mexico?
Well, if you're if
Oh.
you want to look for someone who reads creepypastas, Mr. Creepypasta is on YouTube.
Yes, I heard
Iris,
about
what's-
Mr. Creepypasta.
What's the name of that haunted bus?
The On the Bus, I believe that's what it's called.
Do you know the story? I will play some music for you.
I haven't read the story, but he reads it. Well, actually, I have read the story
Why
online.
don't you read it, Iris?
All right, hold on.
Fine.
Yeah, hold on. Do you want us to look it up for you?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna play some music. Where's my phone? Look up. Sorry, Cindy, I ruined it for you. Someone look up. Look it up real quick while I look for a song. Is my recording still going?
Yeah, it's still going.
Yes, it is.
Awesomeness. All right. Gotta
No,
keep
I'm
this.
thinking.
We gotta keep
if I was
this-
gonna get into Doctor Who, which season should I start with?
The 9th. Start with the first episode, Rose.
I mean, the only reason I'm kind of not a Whovian is because it's been shoved down my throat.
No,
several
yeah,
times.
like trust me, like that's the one thing that kills it for me is the fans of the
Yeah,
show.
I friggin' hate fans.
I hate the fandom. They ruin a lot of things. Like Anthony, talk to us about how bronies ruined My Little Pony for you. Please talk about it for a little bit while I look up some creepy music.
You feel the same way I do about bronies?
Yeah, bronies make me very sad on the
Yes.
inside.
Yes.
I'm also just not a big fan of people who like, those kind of things. Like, if you don't like Doctor Who, if you don't like My Little Pony thing, they're like, oh, you're an asshole, you're so stupid. Like, why are you judging me for something that you don't, like, I don't even know you. Like, why are you judging me? Just because I don't like something doesn't mean that everyone else should, Like, that's pretty much what I get from these, like, Doctor Whovian people. I'm sorry.
I can't stand some of the fandom of Doctor Who. I will not lie.
I'll admit.
To be fair, a lot of them have experienced hate from other people who've had your opinions.
But guys, what about horses? Don't you know?
Anthony, tell me what you said about like what's wrong with the colors of the horses.
Number one, they're not normal colors. So
I found the story,
and
but your battery's on 7%.
Keep it up for a sec. I'll start charging it. But go ahead, Anthony.
I don't think we have enough time for me to go on about how I feel about bronies. But number one, it's cruelty to the horses, I think, first of all. No horse should be multicolored like that. Number two, you should not be a grown man or really only 7-year-old girls and under should like brony.
My Little
whatever
Pony.
You want to go. Yeah, My Little
Yeah,
Pony.
that's who the target audience is intended for. My Little Pony is for little girls, not 18-year-old boys. I don't know.
Or 35-year-old.
But what about awkward man children that live in their basement? Don't they have a place?
My honest opinion.
I actually have a response.
You have a response?
Yeah, I haven't. Lewis, we both know a couple guys who like My Little Pony, and they like it without, being brony or being the typical.
They're not in the fandom. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
There's
thing
nothing
to
wrong with
me.
it.
There's nothing wrong
I
with
don't even have a problem if you're in a fandom. My thing is, if you like something, like it. I still love animation. I love cartoons. I watch regular show on a regular basis. My thing is, I don't know. I don't want to say don't embrace the things you love, but there's something odd about specifically embracing something targeted for children, girl children. And not only do you enjoy watching the show, it's never like the show is written well, the animation's good, which the animation I guess is okay. But it's always like, I just love the ponies. They make me feel good. It's special. Special.
No, honestly. In which Major Tom is murdered by bronies the next day.
Yeah, I'm going to get murdered by a brony
Never go
tomorrow.
on Tumblr. They're like going to mob you.
I feel like there's a creepypasta about bronies, isn't there?
There are My Little Pony creepypastas.
Cupcakes.
Oh, yes, I did hear about that. I think
Well,
we're going to...
Cupcakes doesn't count. It's a fan fiction.
That's torture. Iris,
Yeah, but just because it's been read by Mr. Creepypasta, it doesn't make it creepypasta.
No, I
it's
don't
just
even know this
something on
guy.
the
I'm
internet.
just saying.
Yeah, my opinion of the whole bronies thing, like, I don't hate without, knowing what I'm hating. Like, yeah, I'll admit it. I didn't like Twilight, but because I've read the books, I've seen the movie, I don't get the appeal. And I can rip it to shreds.
Exactly.
I gave My Little Pony a chance to see what the hype was about. I watched 5 episodes, and I honestly could not understand the appeal.
Is there not?
As did I.
See, we heard firsthand accounts. When I found out about this, me and Tom were in the car.
Let me pass this over. All right, go ahead.
When I found out about My Little Pony, me and Tom were actually in the car.
Yes.
And there were people calling in. There was one guy that called in. Most of them were, I guess, girlfriends or friends of the guys who were telling, I guess, their side, like the guy's side. So
One guy actually called in.
Yeah, one guy did call in.
And he
radio
defended
show?
it to like tooth and nail.
Oh, in the radio show? Was that on the Hell
on
House
on
episode?
Z100 on Elvis Duran in the morning show.
No, remember when we did the Hell House episode? Someone was like, try bronies, and we're like, no.
Oh, yeah. Somebody called up. Oh, yeah, it was Matt. Matt called the show one time.
Are you serious?
Matt called the show, and it's because he was making fun of Santiago.
Oh, wow.
I know. We're all friends with him, too.
I don't know, Matt.
But, all right. Do you got a...
The Punch Master lives under a rock.
You ready? All right, go ahead. Let me play the music. See how this sounds. Hang on. Ambiance Part 1. Ooh. Lights off. Sit down, relax in the dark. Glass of wine. Fuck off. Just play the music.
No, you have to hear all their captions. Like,
I don't want to. Wait, did we hear anything?
Yeah.
Ooh, that is creepy. Anyone can tell me what game this is from?
Silent Hill.
Okay, fine. You got it.
I can read, making me the victor.
Good for you, Lois.
Damn
Good for
straight
you.
it is. I don't need no hooked on phonics.
All right, ready?
Yeah, I am. The streets, roads, and dusty lanes of Colombia have been fertile territory for myths and legends since before the arrival of the Spaniards. Tales of La Patasala, a one-legged wailing banshee that forever sought her child, and of El Duende, a backwards-footed goblin that led travelers to their doom. Nibbled at the corners of journeymen's ease for centuries. Although these stories mainly troubled those living in or... Oh, sorry. Okay. Alright. Although these stories mainly troubled those living in or passing through rural areas, the growth of cities brought The growth of cities brought with it a new breed of urban legend, rooted in the primal distrust we still harbor, somewhere deep inside of modern technology. An example of this is the phantom bus that allegedly roams the city streets at night. Supposedly, young women who board it alone are found mutilated in overgrown outlying fields a few days later, a frozen look of abject terror illustrating the moment of their last tormented breath. That being said, given that you're certainly not a young woman, at least not last time you checked, and that it's 5:30 on a Tuesday afternoon, phantom buses and handicapped gremlins are the last thing on your mind. You've been using Bogota's public transportation system for over 2 decades, and your greatest concern is that traffic levels have become all but unmanageable since the latest mayor took office. However, home is about 80 blocks away, so your only choice is to wait until the right bus comes along. Walking would certainly take longer than putting up with any traffic jam. When the bus displaying the route sign you're hoping for shows up, its advertised fare is 200 pesos lower than the standard going rate these days. This usually indicates that the vehicle in question is older and a bit more uncomfortable than most. But no bus rider in the history of the city has ever given a damn about that. Folks that consider themselves richer and above this mode of transportation pay 7 times as much to get around by cab, and statistically expose themselves to a higher chance of being mugged or robbed. More power to them, right? Let's see. Never one to avoid seeking further discounts, you ask the wizened driver if he'll let you on for 1,000. The wrinkled, musty-looking man's eyes never leave the road as he silently takes your bill and slides it in the purse hanging by from the bony gear stick. Satisfied, you turn your attention to the cabin. What would make this ride ideal would be an empty seat. Curiously enough, considering the time of day, there aren't enough passengers aboard for anybody to be standing. A few available spots are in sight, so you choose one on the left, towards the middle. Both the aisle and the window seat are free, and you sigh contentedly as you sprawl out on one with your knee nested on the other. This particular trip should be over in no time. The driver's radio is off, and your phone's battery ran out an hour ago, so you pass the time staring out the window and watching vendors ply their wares and car drivers nod along to whatever music they're enjoying. Your position eventually starts to take a toll on your back, so you straighten up and take a chance to examine your fellow passengers. None of them seem to be riding together, given that everyone's quietly facing the front of the bus. They are also all uncommonly old. Not in the sense that they're all over 100, but in the sense that nobody seems to be under 75. You find this a bit odd, and for a brief moment, the idea that you don't belong here flashes through your mind. It's a silly thought, but combined with the bus's particularly strong, although not necessarily atypical, smell of must and metal, it makes you look forward to the end of the trip. Nevertheless, as there are another 30 or 40 blocks to go, you look out the window again, zone out, and let your mind go where it will for a while. The sight of Pacho's Bakery pulls you out of your reverie. 20 minutes later, you get up and make your way past your silent companions to the rear exit, where you hunt for the little silver button that will let the driver know you've reached your stop. As you spot it above the door, you realize that nobody's boarded or left the vehicle since you got on, which is particularly weird for rush hour. Shrugging it off as a weird coincidence, you press down on the button and grab onto the... You are sitting on your seat, facing the front of the bus. What the hell just happened? You look around and see that everybody's still where they were a moment ago. Trying to make eye contact with them is fruitless, since they all seem to be lost wherever it is that old minds wander. The thought of saying something runs through your head, but you decide against it. What would you say anyway? You were probably so zoned out that you simply imagined getting up to ring the driver's bell. That's probably it. Your daydreams are occasionally so vivid that leaving them is downright startling. Besides, you're already 2 blocks past your stop. Call it a weird thing that happened on your way home or whatever, but for now, you should just get off the bus. There's no point in having to walk back too far. You, once again, get off your seat and head for the rear exit, somewhat unnerved by the other passengers' stoic disinterest in everything around them. There's the button, right where you remember it. Except that you can't remember it, of course, since you've never actually been back here. You probably saw it when you got on. After grabbing onto the guardrail, these bastards occasionally decide to stop on a dime when you ring. You look towards the driver, put your thumb on the button. You are sitting on your seat, facing the front of the bus. A piercing chill runs down your spine, and instead of fading away, it spreads through every one of your extremities. It's not a shift in body or ambient temperature. It's the chill you feel when suddenly consumed by the level of fear that slightly precedes terror. Something really messed up is going on here. You don't know what it is, but you want out. You don't want to be here anymore. A feeling of bitter solitude is now gnawing at your mind. Whatever these people around you are thinking, they clearly don't give a damn about what's going on with you.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
It's okay. Therefore, you once again decide to avoid saying anything and simply lift yourself off the seat, not processing the fact that you did it with less agility than should have been the case. All you want right now is to get off the bus. Besides, it's already advanced more than 10 blocks past your street, which suddenly feels like a distastefully long distance to walk. This is all secondary to the point at hand, however. You have to get off this damn thing. As you make your way back, an old lady in the back row looks up at you. Her expression tells you nothing, but the way it fixes on you, on your torso to be precise, as if you were another chunk of the vehicle, further spikes the almost overpowering sense of dread now coursing through your veins. Whatever, you can't panic. Not now. Everything alright?
Yeah, sorry. Fucking tablet decided not to work.
Haunted tablet.
Should I continue?
I'm a... God damn it.
This
Fuck
video
this
contains
piece of
flashing
shit.
lights, scary and creepy content.
Every video I had just decided to restart and press play.
Oh.
This is the haunting hour. No, it's not.
No, the haunting hour was like 1 in the morning, I think, until like 3.
Hmm.
So,
Should
how
I?
much more of the story is there anyway? It was getting creepy.
More than probably a couple more pages.
I want to read.
Actually, at least maybe 1 or more pages.
I want to read.
Are you okay with me continuing, or should I?
How
pause
much
it?
longer do you think it would take? I didn't know it would be this long. No offense.
It's okay.
It's very long.
I think we should just give our shortened versions of these stories.
Okay.
And the more you try.
So, well, basically, it ends with the person. You don't find out his name, and it's definitely a he, even though it's difficult to see because it's written in second person. At the end, he realizes he can't get off the bus. And the longer he stays, the more he ages. And the more he ages, the more he just stays on the bus.
Jesus.
And even as even when he's close to death, the bus doesn't let him die. Not a physical death anyway. Mental, arguable. But it just ends with him staying on the bus as an old man.
All right, that's one good creepypasta. Anybody else
It
got
is
another?
good.
Do you want to share about Ben?
Sure.
Please share about Ben.
Sure, I just have to find it on. Or,
You can look on my phone.
yeah, because
or
my smartphone is. Yeah, give me 2 seconds. Where the heck can I?
And for anyone listening out there, Mr. Creepypasta tells it best. That's all I have.
Boom, boom. Santiago, do you have any stories off the top of your head?
None. No, not really.
Tell me a story, Santiago.
Like what?
Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack. His mom was poor, so she asked him to go and sell the cow for money. But then
Jack and the Giant Beanstalk?
Yeah.
Santiago, tell a story.
You
God
said a
damn
story,
it.
not a horror story.
Tell a horror story, Santiago. Tell us a story.
I don't have any horror stories.
Tell us a horror story.
Ooh, said the crowd, but Santiago stood resolute. He stared at the speaker.
Look, I already told you how I lived in a haunted house for like a couple of good years.
Can you refresh my memory on that one?
You know, the one where I keep telling you, you'd sit in the living room, and to your right...
Shut up! Stop screaming.
You don't have to tell the story anymore. I just wanted to do that.
Okay, go to hell.
It's not as loud as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be fucking loud.
Like ear cracking? Loud?
Yeah, I was hoping for that kind of thing going on. But anyway, I think I can give a little bit of background. Do you want to start, or do you want me to give us a little bit of background?
A little bit of background and I'll read some.
All right, some background. Apparently, there's a haunted cartridge, according to this creepypasta. Take it as you will. I don't, it's just a creepypasta. There's a haunted cartridge.
Cartridge.
Of
Cartridge.
Cartman of Majora's Mask. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. And apparently there's a file on there saved as Ben. And, perfect timing. There, you good to go?
It's still loading.
Okay. Why is it taking so long to load? Is it connected to Wi-Fi?
We don't have much of a signal in here.
Because if anything, you just turn the Wi-Fi off. Probably work better on 3G.
I have no idea how to work an iPhone.
All right, let me see.
Let me attempt this technomancy.
Wait, we're not cavemen. We have technology.
Punch Master Smash. Just like punches a hole in it and then it works. We can rebuild him faster, better, stronger.
Bye-bye.
I just hope it actually is the legitimate thing and not just a summary of it.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Well, even if a summary, I'm down with a summary. Let's spread the creepiness.
Oh my
The
goodness.
spooks. Let's spread the spooks.
No.
I realized what I just said.
No! Get away from the racist stuff.
What? God damn it, this fucking tablet.
I thought it was about to do the whole,
No, you got another like 7 minutes. I just like the eeriness. I really should have prepared this better. I apologize.
It's all good, bro.
Halloween! Woo! Actually, I can start off telling a story.
Regale us.
Regale us,
We
Bard.
brought this up the last show. Dana, let me know whenever you're ready. Okay. Last show we brought up, didn't we bring up Psycho? And we talked about Norman Bates and his similarities to Leatherface, and then Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
He was also based off. His case was also based off Ed Gein.
They're
In fact,
all based off of Ed Gein, Edward Gein. There we go. She knows where I'm going with this.
Remind me, who's Ed Gein again?
Edward Gein was a man from Wisconsin, born in the town of Plainfield, Wisconsin. Population no more than 1,000. Very small town. Very, in Wisconsin, it's always snowing.
Yeah.
Born in a very religious household. Abusive drunk father who died not too long into his life, and a mother who controlled him his whole life. This is the story where monsters aren't born, monsters are made.
Mama's boys.
Mama's boy. She beat him and instilled the idea of religion and discipline in his head, causing him to a lot of rejection. And when he hit puberty, every time he would question or learn about sexuality, she would beat him and say that there's no woman good for her son. So he grew up very repressed, no sexual life at all, had no idea about anything. And you're talking about this is like the 50s, so there wasn't really a sex ed. You weren't going to learn it there.
You see, kids, you just put the thing in the thing, and then hopefully something happens.
In his older years, his mother passes. He lived with her his whole life, and he didn't know what to do. He went mad. He actually closed off certain rooms in the house to keep it exactly the same way it was before she had passed. Especially like her bedroom. And then he became obsessed. He was starting to learn about sexuality. He was obsessed with comic books, but mostly supernatural, and became obsessed with the idea of sexual transformation. Women had been beaten into his head so much that women are bad, but he was so fascinated with them sexually, he didn't know how to express it. So as an adult, he tries to become involved with becoming a transgender. He doesn't know how about going doing that, so he takes what he learns from the comic books. He becomes schizophrenic and believes his mother is talking to him, or these voices are talking to him. And he goes and starts to dig graves of deceased women and starts to make ornaments out of body parts and makes, skin suits and masks, very much like Texas Chainsaw Massacre if anyone's listening, or like the mother suit from Psycho. And really, really sick shit. He collected vulvas, put them in little boxes, and he had a belt made of nipples.
What the hell? The nipple collector. Ooh.
Then that wasn't enough. Eventually, he believed his mother would talk to him, and he found two women. One who ran the local grocery store, and another. I don't remember the other one, but he killed them very gruesomely. He shot them in the store, brought them home, and gutted them like they were deer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. He was found and was convicted and charged and convicted for killing two women, possibly more. People don't know for sure.
Because of all the bodies he dug up.
Because of all the confusion with all the dead bodies.
Mm-hmm.
It would be hard to tell what was a murder unless somebody went missing. But back then, they didn't really have the best police before, so you're not going to really... It could have been very well, more than two people killed. But this is... If you watch Psycho... Norman Bates is very heavily, more psychologically based on Edward Gein. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is incredibly loosely based off the story because, first of all, it didn't take place in Texas. It took place in Wisconsin. And,
things take place in Wisconsin?
Yeah, people killing each other.
Mm-hmm.
But, actually, Toby Hooper made a comment on why he claimed it to be a real story. Because this was also, he made that film 1973 or so. The movie came out in 1974. we had just gotten, through the end of the Vietnam War, and all that grisly footage we saw coming back and the manipulation of the media. During the war, we were winning, and then after the war, you find out that we were in a really shitty place, and you saw all these gruesome newsreels of soldiers and what we did to the Vietnamese, that he decided to make a satire on that concept and said that this is a true story, when it really, in fact, was not a true story, based very loosely off the original story. But that's where it gets creepy, because Leatherface's character, if you watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously all the gore is intended, but there is all these bones and body parts laying around. It's very, backcountry. It's disturbing. And then they even sexualize Leatherface a little bit when the dinner scene. He wears, like, a woman's, clothes and has makeup on his face, and the family abuses him. And it's almost set that he takes upon the role of the woman in that movie.
I have a horror story.
All right, go ahead.
I just found it. It's called Axe Murder Hollow. You can boo me if this sucks. In fact, please. Hey. It's Fat Albert. Susan and Ned were driving through a wooded, empty section of highway. Lightning flashed, thunder roared, the sky went dark in a torrential downpour. "We'd better stop," said Susan. Ned nodded his head in agreement. He stepped on the brake, and suddenly the car started to slide onto the slick pavement. They plunged off the road and slid to a halt at the bottom of an incline. Pale and shaking, Ned quickly turned to check if Susan was all right. When she nodded, Ned relaxed and looked through the rain-soaked windows. "I'm going to see how bad it is," he told Susan, and went out into the storm. Wow, these people can't write. She saw his blurry figure in the headlight, walking around the front of the car. A moment later, he jumped in beside her, soaking wet. "The car's not badly damaged, but we're wheel-deep in mud," he said. "I'm going to have to go for help." Susan swallowed nervously. There would be no quick rescue here. He told her to turn off the headlights and lock the doors until he returned. Axe Murder Hollow. Although Ned hadn't said the name aloud, they both knew what he had been thinking when he told her to lock the car. This is the place where a man had once taken an axe and hacked his wife to death in a jealous rage over an alleged affair. Supposedly, the axe-wielding spirit of the husband continued to haunt this section of the road. Outside the car, Susan heard a shriek, a loud thump, and a strange gurgling noise, but she couldn't see anything in the darkness. Frightened, she shrank down into her seat. She sat in silence for a while, and then she noticed another sound. It was a soft sound, like something being blown by the wind. Well, there goes my Foley effect. Suddenly, the car was illuminated by a bright light. An official-sounding voice told her to get out of the car. Ned must have found a police officer. Susan unlocked the door and stepped out of the car. As her eyes adjusted to the bright light, she saw it. Hanging from his feet, from the tree next to the car, was the dead body of Ned. His bloody throat had been cut so deeply that he was nearly decapitated. The wind swung his corpse back and forth that it thumped against the tree. Susan screamed and ran towards the voice in the light. As she drew close, she realized the light was not coming from a flashlight. Standing there was a glowing figure of a man with a smile on his face and a large, solid, and definitely real axe in his hands. She backed away from the glowing figure until she bumped into the car. "Playing around and my back was turned," the ghost whispered, stroking the sharp blade of the axe with his fingers. "You've been very naughty." The last thing she saw was the glint of the axe blade in the eerie, incandescent light. The end.
That was a wonderful story. Wonderful story. I got the goosebumps.
Up until you said naughty, like I know we were talking about Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Naughty.
Exactly, like he's like, I know it was naughty.
You found it. All right, someone pass over a mic. We've got next story. Or let's see. See if Lewis, you want to share your mic? Yeah.
Okay.
All
right, here we go. This one is the Ben Drown creepypasta story. So pretty much this college sophomore guy said this. "I recently moved into my dorm room starting as a sophomore in college, and a friend of mine gave me his old Nintendo 64 to play. I was stoked, to say at least. I could finally play all those old games of my youth that I hadn't touched in at least a decade. His Nintendo 64 came with one yellow controller and a rather shoddy copy of Super Smash Bros. And while beggars can't be choosers, needless to say, it didn't take long until I became bored of beating up level 9 computers. That weekend, I decided to take a drive around a few neighborhoods about 20 minutes or so off campus, hitting up the local garage sales, hoping to score on some good deals from ignorant parents. I ended up picking up a copy of Pokemon Stadium GoldenEye, fuck yeah, F-Zero and 2 other controllers for $2. Satisfied, I began to drive out of the neighborhood when one last house caught my attention. I still have no idea why it did. There were no cars there, and there was only one table was set up with random junk on it. But something sort of drew me there. I usually trust my guts on these things, so I got out of the car and I was greeted by an old man. His outward appearance was, for lack of a better word, displeasing. It was odd. If you asked me to tell you why I thought it was displeasing, I couldn't really pinpoint anything. There was just something about him that put me on edge. I can't explain it. All I could tell you is that if it wasn't in the middle of the afternoon and there were other people within shouting distance, I would not have thought of approaching this man. He flashed a crooked smile at me and asked what I was looking for, and I immediately noticed that he must have been blind in one of his eyes. His right eye had that glazed-over look about it. I forced myself to look to his left eye instead, trying not to offend, and asked him if he had any old video games. I was already wondering how I could politely excuse myself from the situation when he would tell me he had no idea what a video game was. But to my surprise, he said he had a few ones in an old box. He assured me he'd be back in a jiffy and turned his head back to the garage. As I watched him hobble away, I couldn't help but notice what he was selling on his table. Littered across his table was rather peculiar paintings, various artworks that looked like ink blots that a psychiatrist would show you. But then, as I came to the last one, for some reason, it looked like Majora's Mask, the same heart-shaped body with little spikes protruding outward. Initially, I just thought it was secretly hoping... Sorry about that, let me start over. Initially, I just thought that since I was secretly hoping to find that game at these garage sales, some Freudian bullshit was projecting itself into the ink blots. But given the events that happened afterward, I'm not so sure now. I should have asked the man about it. I wish I could have asked the man about it. After staring at the Majora-shaped blot, I looked up and the old man was suddenly there again, arm's length in front of me, smiling at me. I'll admit I jumped out of reflex and I laughed nervously as he handed me a Nintendo 64 cartridge. It was a standard gray color, except that someone had written Majora on it in a black permanent marker. I got butterflies in my stomach as I realized what a coincidence this was and asked him how much he wanted for it. Hold on, let me just scroll a little bit. The old man smiled at me and told me that I could have it for free. That used to belong to a kid who was about my age that didn't live here anymore. There was something weird about how that man phrased that, but I didn't really pay attention to it then. I was too caught up in not only finding this game, but getting it for free. I reminded myself to be a bit skeptical since this looked like a pretty shady cartridge and there was no guarantee it would work, but then the optimist inside me interjected that it would be some kind of beta version or pirated version of the game, and that it was all I needed to get back on Cloud 9. I thanked the man, and the man smiled at me and wished me well, saying, "Goodbye, then." At least that's what it sounded to me. All the way in the car ride home, I had a nagging doubt that the man had said something else. My fears were confirmed when I booted up the game. To my surprise, it worked just fine, and there was one save file, simply Ben. "Goodbye, Ben," he was saying. "Goodbye, Ben." I felt bad for the man, obviously a grandparent and obviously going senile, and I, for some reason or another, reminded him of his grandson, Ben. Out of curiosity, I looked at the save file. Eyeballing it, I could tell he was pretty far in the game. He had almost all the masks and 3/4 remains of the bosses. I noticed that he had an owl-shaped statue saved to his game. He was on day 3 and by the stone tower with hardly an hour left before the moon would crash. I remember thinking that it was a shame that he had come so close to beating the game, but he never finished it. I made a new file named Link, out of tradition, and started the game, ready to relive my childhood. For a shady-looking game cartridge, I was impressed on how smoothly it ran. Literally like a retail copy of the game, save for a few minor hiccups here and there, like textures of where it shouldn't be, random flashes of cutscenes at odd intervals, but nothing too bad. However, the only thing that was a little unnerving was that at times the NPCs would call me Link and at other times would call me Ben. I figured it was just a bug, a fluke in the programming causing our files to get mixed or something. It did kind of creep me out after a while, and it was after I had beaten the Woodfall Temple that I regrettably went to the save file and deleted Ben. I intended to preserve the file out of respect for the game's original owner. It's not like I needed 2 files anyway, hoping that it would solve the problem. It did and it didn't. Now NPCs would call me or anything, where my name should be in the dialogue. There was a blank space. My saved name file was just called Link, though. Frustrated and with homework to do, I put the game down for the day. I started playing the game again last night, getting the Lens of Truth and working my way towards completing the Snowhead Temple. Now, some of you hardcore Majora's Mask fans would know about the 4th day glitch. For those who don't know, can Google it, but just the gist of it is, right as the clock is about to hit 000000 on the final day, you can talk to the astronomer and look through the telescope. If you time it right, the countdown disappears and you essentially have another day to finish what you were doing. Deciding to do the glitch and finish the Snowhead Temple, I happened to get right on the first try, and the timing counter at the bottom disappeared. However, when I pressed B to escape the telescope, instead of being greeted by the astronomer, I found myself in the Majora boss fight room just at the end of the game, the trippy boxed-in arena, staring at the Skull Kid hovering above me. There was no sound, just him floating in the air above me, and the background music was just regular for the area, but still creepy. Immediately, my palms began to sweat. This was definitely not normal. Skull Kid never appeared here. I tried moving around the area, and no matter where I went, Skull Kid would always be facing me, looking at me, not saying anything. Nothing would happen, though, and this kept up for about 60 seconds. I thought the game had bugged or something, but I was beginning to doubt that very much. I was about to reach for the reset button when the text appeared on my screen. You're not sure why, but you apparently had a reservation. I instantly recognized that text. You get that message when you get the room key from Andrew at the Stockpot Inn, but why was it playing here? I refused to entertain the notion that it was almost as if the game was trying to communicate with me. I started navigate the room again, testing to see that it was some sort of trigger that enabled me to interact with something here. Then I realized how stupid I was. To even think that someone could reprogram the game like this was absurd. Sure enough, 15 seconds later, another message appeared on the screen, and again, like the first one, it was a pre-existing phrase. Go to the lair of the temple's boss, yes/no. I paused for a second, contemplating what I should press and how the game would react, when I realized I couldn't select no. Taking a deep breath, I pressed yes, and the screen faded to white, with the words Dawn of a New Day with the subtext, a bunch of lines, beneath it. Where I was ported to filled me with the most intense sense of dread and impending fear I have ever experienced. The only way I could describe the way I felt here is having this feeling of inexplicable depression on a profound scale. I am normally not a depressed person, but the way I felt was a feeling that I never knew existed. It was such a twisted, powerful presence that seemed to wash over me. I appeared in some kind of Twilight Zone version of Clocktown. I walked out of the clock towers, as you normally do when you start from day one, only to find that all of the inhabitants were gone. Usually with the 4th day glitch, you could still find the guards and the dog that runs around the clock tower. This time they were all gone. What replaced them was an ominous feeling that there was something out there, in the same area as me, that was watching me. I had 4 hearts to my name and the hero's bow, but at this point, I wasn't even considered for my avatar. I felt that I personally was in some kind of danger. Perhaps the most chilling thing was the music. It was the Song of Healing, ripped straight from the game itself, but played in reverse. The music would get louder, building up as if you could expect something to pop out of you, but nothing did, and the constant loop began to wear in my mental state. Every now and then, I would hear the faint laugh of the happy masked salesman in the background, just quiet enough so that I wasn't sure if I was hearing things, but loud enough to keep me determined to find him. I looked in all 4 zones of Clocktown only to find nothing. No one. Textures were missing. West Clocktown had me walking on air. The entire area felt broken, hopelessly broken. As the reverse Song of Healing repeated for what had been the 50th time, I just remember standing in the middle of South Clocktown realizing that I never felt so alone in a video game before. As I walked through the ghost town, I didn't know whether it was the combination of the out-of-place textures and the atmosphere and the haunting melody of the once peaceful and soothing song being pushed and distorted, but I was literally on the verge of tears and I had no idea why. I hardly ever cry. Something had gripped me here and this powerful sense of depression that was both foreign and crippling. I tried to leave Clocktown, but every time I attempted to zone out, the screen would fade to black and I would zone into another part of Clocktown. I tried playing my ocarina. I wanted to escape, and I did not want to be here. But every time I played the Song of Time and the Song of Soaring, it would only say, Your notes echo far, but nothing happens. By this point, it was obvious the game didn't want me to leave, but I had no idea why it was keeping me here. I didn't want to go inside the buildings. I felt I would be too vulnerable there to whatever I was terrified of. I don't know why, but I came up with the idea that maybe if I drowned myself at the laundry pool, I could somehow spawn somewhere else and leave this place. Yes, I do. Good call. As I zoned in, I ran towards the pool. That's when it happened. Link grabbed his head, and the screen flashed for a brief moment of the Happy Masks salesman smiling at me. Not Link. Me with the Skull Kid scream playing in the background. And when the screen returned, I was staring at the Link statue from playing the song Elegy of Emptiness. I screamed as the thing just stared back at me with that haunting facial expression. I turned around and ran out of back into the South Clock town. And to my horror, the fucking statue followed me in the only way I could compare is like the weeping angels from Doctor Who. Every so often, at random intervals, the animation would play of the statue appearing behind me. It was like the thing was chasing me, or I don't even want to fucking say it, haunting me, like Slender Man. By this point, I was on the verge of hysterics, but not even once did the thought of turning off the console occur to me. I don't know why. I was so wrapped up in it. The terror felt all so real. I tried to shake the statue, but it would literally appear right behind me every single time. Link started to begin to make weird animations I had never even seen him do before. He would flail his arms around or spasm randomly, and the screen would cut to the Happy Mask salesman smiling again for a brief moment before I was face to face with that fucking statue again. Louis. I ended up running towards the swordsman dojo and ran to the back. I don't know why, but to my panic, I wanted some kind of assurance that I'm not alone here. To my dismay, I found no one. But as I turned to leave, the statue cornered me in the cubby in the back. I tried attacking the statue with my sword, but to no avail. Confused and backed into a corner, I just stared at the statue, waiting for it to kill me. Suddenly, the screen flashed against the Happy Mask salesman, and Link turned to face my screen, standing upright, mirroring the statue, looking at me along with his copy, literally staring at me. Whatever was left of the fourth wall was completely shattered while I ran out of the reverse song of Healing. As I was given a brief moment of rest before the statue started appearing behind me again, this time aggressively. I could only take a few steps before it would summon... Hey, get out of here.
The statue's invading the computer!
Yes. This time aggressively, I only take a few steps before it would summon behind me again. I hurried my way back out of the tunnel and appeared in southern Clocktown. As I ran aimlessly in sheer panic, suddenly the Reed-Dead screamed and the screen faded to black as dawn of a new day and lines appeared again. The screen faded in and I was standing on top of the clock tower with Skull Kid hovering over me again, silent. I looked up and the moon was back, looming just meters above my head, but the Skull Kid just stared at me hauntingly with that fucking mask. A new song was playing, the Stone Tower Temple theme played in reverse. In some sort of desperate attempt, I equipped my bow and fired off a shot at the Skull Kid. I had actually hit him and he played an animation of him reeling back. I fired again and the third arrow, a text appearing, "That won't do you any good, hee hee." And I was picked up off the ground, levitated upwards on my back, and Link screamed as he burst into flames, instantly killing him. I jumped when this happened. I had never seen this move used by anyone in the game, and the Skull Kid himself didn't have any moves. As the death screen played, my lifeless body was still burning. The Skull Kid laughed and the screen faded to black, only to have me reappear in the same place. I decided to charge him, but the same thing happened. Link's body was lifted off the ground and by some unknown force, and he immediately burst into flames again, killing him. This time, during the death scene, the faint sounds of the reverse song of Healing could be heard. On my third and final try, I noticed there was no music playing this time, and all that was eerie silence. I remembered that in the original encounter with the Skull Kid, you were supposed to use the ocarina to either travel back in time or summon the giants. I attempted to play the Song of Time, but before I could hit the last note, Link's body once again horrifically exploded into flames and he died.
Hooray!
As the death screen neared to its end, it began to chug, as if the cartridge was trying to process a lot of something. When the screen came to, it was the same scene as the first 3 times, except this time Link was lying on the ground, dead in a position I'd never seen in the game before, his head tilted towards the screen, with the Skull Kid floating above him. I couldn't move. I couldn't press any buttons. All I could do is just stare at Link's dead body. After about 30 seconds of this, the game simply fades out with the message, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" before kicking you out to the title screen. Upon getting back to the title screen and starting again, I noticed my save file was no longer there. Instead of Link, it was replaced with Your Turn. Your Turn had 3 hearts, 0 masks, and no items. I selected Your Turn, and immediately when I did, I was returned to the clock tower rooftop scene of my Link dead and the Skull Kid hovering over, with the Skull Kids laughing, looping again and again. I quickly hit the reset button, and when the game booted up again, there was one more save file added below Your Turn entitled Ben. Ben's save file was right back where it was before I deleted it, at the stone tower with the moon almost crashing. I turned off the game at that point. I'm not superstitious, but this is way too fucked up for me. I haven't played it at all today. Hell, I didn't even get any sleep last night. I kept hearing the reverse song of healing music in my head and just remembering the sense of dread I felt exploring Clocktown. I drove back to the old man's house today to ask him some questions with a buddy of mine. No way I was going there alone, only to find that there's a for sale sign in the front yard, and when I rang the door, no one was home. So now I'm back here writing down the rest of my thoughts and recording what happened. Sorry if this has some grammatical errors and whatnot. I'm running on no sleep here. I'm terrified of this game, even more so now that I've relived it a second time writing this all down. But I feel like there's still more than meets the eye, and there's something calling to me to investigate this further. I think Ben is something in this equation, but I don't know what. And if I could get a hold of the old man, then I would be able to find some answers. I need another day or so to recuperate before tackling this game again. And it's already taken a toll on my sanity, I feel like. But next time I do this, I'm going to be recording my footage all the way through. The idea to record only came to me towards the end, so you can see the last few minutes of what I saw, including Skull Kid and the elegy statue, but it's on YouTube here. I'm going to stay in this thread for a little while longer before I fall asleep to answer any questions you guys might have, or hopefully listen to your ideas or theories to help me shed some light into this, or maybe find some things I should try to do. I think I'm going to play Ben's file tomorrow to see what happens. Maybe I was supposed to do that all along. I don't believe in this paranormal shit, but this is a little fucked up, and maybe this Ben guy is just a good hacker/programmer. I don't even want to think about the alternatives if he isn't. That's the end of copy and paste. I'm hoping that this is some kind of run and gag developers had the other game have gotten hacked or copies of games like this. This just really scares me. And that's pretty much the first post.
That was creepy.
Yeah. And there's a hell of a lot more, but if I read this entire thing, we'd be here until 6 in the morning.
Yeah, let's leave it.
But yeah, there's a YouTube link like right next to it, so I might check it out myself. So anyone else has anything to say, by all means, go ahead.
Actually, aren't we strapped for time?
We've got like 10 minutes. So I'm gonna let this play while we talk about bananas.
Banana phone.
Ding 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 ding. Banana phone.
Play that song in slow motion.
You know what's crazy is the internet before, like, remember when memes were becoming a thing, but they weren't called memes, like the banana phone and milk and cereal.
Yeah, E-bombs and cereal and milk.
Cereal and milk. That was memes before memes, but